You had a trolley that was 20, 30 feet underwater in freezing water, and there was nothing that anybody could do. They had to wait for cranes and professional divers, and obviously that was far too late to save anyone. "100 years ago on election night in Boston, a packed streetcar carrying more than 60 people crashed through the gates of an open drawbridge over Four Point Channel and plunged into the channel. 46 people drowned. It was a kind of terrifying accident that almost didn't compute in a day. Sure, streetcars sometimes jumped the tracks or overturned, but never did you have an accident where more than 1, 2, or 3 people were killed in a streetcar. Here, 46 people not only were killed, but they drowned. The newspapers said it was the worst catastrophe, the worst disaster Boston could imagine, and yet 100 years later, it's been almost entirely forgotten. It was November 7th, 1916. It was election night in Boston. The city was totally alive, crackling with electricity. What we think of as a seaport district, which is really rapidly developing now, was also rapidly developing in this era. It had been filled up with freight yards and factories and warehouses. And so a packed streetcar full of mostly blue-collar workers, people who made things with their hands, were coming home, and they never got there. It was dark. It was 5:30 almost on a November evening, and the motorman, the guy driving the trolley, didn't see that the Summer Street drawbridge was open. It's a kind of terror that we can't even imagine. I mean, the car crashed through the gates, skidded to the edge, teetered, hung on the brink for, some said, several seconds. Looked like maybe it had stopped just in time and then dropped into the channel. Almost no one who was trapped inside the car got out. The moment this happened, thousands of people rushed over there. I mean, there were like 10,000 people on the scene within a matter of minutes. When the first diver went down, which was not until hours later, he saw that many of the bodies were stuck in the windows trying to get out, that their torsos, their arms were sticking out, and either because too many people were trying to go for the same windows or their jackets caught in the sashes, that they weren't able to get out. One of the things that struck me when I first heard about this was that this was a site in Boston that I had passed thousands of times, and I could see it in my head. Certainly there's been changes. The bridge is no longer a working drawbridge. Nearly 50 years ago they fixed it in place. There aren't tugboats bringing barges back and forth in the channel, but the trolley has a descendant. A bus replaced it, and that bus is the number 7 bus, which still operates for the MBTA today and follows this very same route. You know, this terrible tragedy that at one point the city thought nobody could ever forget, and yet has been forgotten, happened right there where this bus passes by many times a day.